Technologic.
Marketing Tech Blog.
Technologic. Buy it, use it, break it, fix it.
I love that you're talking reviews here.
Yeah.
The reviews obviously are a big part of our life because we help Angie's List out on many fronts with that, and I think that there's a real problem on the internet right now with fake reviews, false reviews, false attacks, and we see it. Like we have the great folks at Brazzini's, right?
Yep.
James,
Yum.
yeah, Yum is right. So James told me that they have nightly specials, and so they know which night the nightly special is on and stuff like that. Well, up pops some negative reviews talking about the special, and it wasn't the special. And he knows it's just a competitor that's trying to, knock down his score and everything else. And he's told me he's pretty much given up on it. Well, I told him, I said, well, you're not the only one. I said a lot of people have given up on him as well. And I think Yelp and all of those sites are now trying to, tighten. Of course, they've gotten sued in a couple states too for fake reviews. But now they're trying to tighten up the on the accuracy of those. And that's why, I got to say it, even though Angie's List is a client, that's a lot of people don't understand. Well, why would you make a customer pay to go write a review? Well, this is why. It's you don't want the reviews, commandeered or controlled by the company. You want it by the consumer, and that's right. And there's tons of buying power behind that. So
it's the biggest advocacy. I mean, on top of everything else, if you're seeing the reviews coming from Google, that's a Google endorsement. Well, and it can be translated like that in the eyes of consumers.
Yeah, and you get, if you have a good service like that, where it's mediated and everything else, because I don't know if you guys know that if you actually complain on like Angie's List about they'll mediate it. So they'll try to resolve it before it goes public. If you don't say anything, you don't do anything about it, well, then it's going to go public, But what happens after is the big thing, right? Because now all of a sudden you lost tons of money because there's a lot of buying power behind those sites. And that's what people don't understand is that people are doing the research ahead of time. And we actually had an infographic that came out a while ago that Kelsey Cox from Column 5 Media they did for one of their clients.
I love their stuff.
Yeah, they do fantastic stuff. But I'm gonna read her post here a little bit. But she said, with smartphones in every pocket, millennials are equipped and have become accustomed to a new way of shopping. With over $200 billion in annual buying power, millennials are an important group to cater to. But how much are retailers considering them as they update their marketing strategies? While millennials do enjoy in-store purchases, 85% are likely to use their mobile devices to research products before making a decision. 85%.
Wow.
Retailers who are aware of this keep an online presence strong and use reviews to their advantage. 50% of millennials will visit a retailer's location when they're offered a 20% discount. But 72% of retailers don't offer mobile coupons or mobile discounts. So, imagine that. The retailers who are bringing their business into the future are doing exactly what you were talking about. So, texting people, getting a rating, if it's negative, instantly mediating it, going in and trying to make it right.
We even offer a QR code on the front of buildings to be able to, it takes them right to the review area dashboard so they can go whether or not they've got a Google Plus or Yelp or anything. We have that printed out right for our clients.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, no, you're right on par with this. So, the thing to keep in mind is all of this is mobile ready, right? You guys do the text messaging, mobile reviews, everything else. That's why. It's because it as long as you can get closer to the time that the purchase decision is made. And that's what's important here is people, literally sometimes people are just driving out to your store or driving out to your location to talk to a salesman or whatever. What do? They're early. They stop at a Starbucks and they go on their phone and they go, who are these guys? Who's it? Oh, ooh, there's some negative stuff out there on them. Oh, and people do that research ahead of time. It might not be a week ahead of time where they're sitting at home on their desktop.
Right.
It's literally sometimes minutes before the purchase that they're checking. Let me check my phone one last time. Let me see how much it costs versus the competitors. Let me see if they have negative reviews. Let me see whether anybody's had service problems.
Right.
And then you come into the store or you come into your place of business and now your sales guy is on his heels, right? Because now it's, well, I was reading about this customer that you had a hard time with. What are you going to, is that going to happen to me?
Right, exactly.
And so reviews are absolutely critical. With millennials, because they're all on a phone, on a smartphone, 69% of them read product reviews. Yep. So 69% of that $200 billion out there,
right?
They're reading a product review prior to. 50% of them check in and look for discounts and use mobile-based apps, location-based apps. 46% request price matches. So they're gonna check and they're already know what you cost, everything else.
Yep.
And 44% will scan the QR codes to get more information. So even within the store, within your brochures, everything else, having something readily available where people can research you online.
Yep.
Let them do it.
Embrace it.
But
Embrace
create the path for them to make sure that they're coming to the right, accurate, information rather than not.
For the most part, if you don't have your own review areas out there, there's a conversation going on. There's endorsements of other products going on. We see it time and time again. Is that one of the biggest draws is those stars around one listing as opposed to another.
Yep.
If you're either product or services, the consumers are right there. They're doing this type of processing, and this is the new market.
Yes.
It's at this small device,
right?
And whether or not you can get your injection of value in there can mean thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in revenue, if not more.
Yeah, and I think people make a mistake sometimes. They say, well, our sales comes from word of mouth, or our sales comes from this, or our sales comes from that. But what they don't realize is that all of it's inclusive now. Word of mouth means people checking review sites, people on social media, and so just because you have certain buying habits doesn't mean that the people out there don't have different buying habits. And it's a growing base. I know my mom is, 70 years old.
I love your mom.
And
she's awesome.
Thank you. and she uses her mobile app now.
Yeah.
I saw her. She was on Milo. If you've ever downloaded that,
absolutely.
Local search app to find the cheapest prices around.
That's cool.
So they have 5 things that you should do, and I just wanted to say these because it's right on par with what you're talking about. Is 1, obviously optimizing your website and making sure your website is mobilely optimized. 2, get the most from reviews. That's their number 2 thing. Reviews.
That's
Awesome. Everybody is doing research online and they want to see what other experiences. One bad review. The other thing that I always tell people is one bad review doesn't kill you.
No.
Especially if you take the opportunity to solve the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Because consumers are getting very savvy that every company has problems. Every company makes mistakes. But it's how you took care of it. Did you blame the person or did you handle it, and take care of it? The next is reward loyalty. The next is mobilize your payment options. And the last is create a seamless experience between your technology, and internally to your store or service or what have you. So, and I think you guys are doing that. The fact that if I'm an HVAC repairman, I can come out, get it repaired, everything else. You can show me the mobile.
Bang.
Text me the URL. I click it. I say, it was 2 stars because you left garbage out.
Right.
Now I turn the truck around and I go back
over.
and I clean up the garbage and I apologize. And now they say, oh, well, I'll change that to a 5-star.
Bang.
And now.
But look at that right there. Is that it's not even going into the review space.
Exactly.
Yet. It's a customer satisfaction survey.
You had a process in place to take care of it before it ever got to the world of trolls.
That's exactly what it is.